know, this is part 13 of The Wizard of Oz, and when we'd left our characters, they'd all been captured by the winged monkeys and sent to the Wicked Witch. And let's see what she has in store for our characters now. Dorothy went to work meekly, together with her mind made as much as paintings as hard as she should, for she became happy the Wicked Witch had decided not to kill her. With Dorothy hard at paintings, the witch's notion she would move into the courtyard and harness the Cowardly Lion like a horse. It might amuse her. She became positive to make him draw her chariot whenever she wanted to go to drive. But as she opened the gate, the lion gave a noisy roar and bounded at her so fiercely that the witch was afraid and ran out and shut the gate at once. "If I cannot harness you," said the witch to the lion, speaking through the bars of the gate, "I can starve you. You don't have anything to eat till you do as I wish." So after that she took no meals to the imprisoned lion. However, each day she got there to the gate at noon and asked, "Are you geared up to be harnessed like a horse?" And the lion would answer, "No, if you are available in this backyard I will bite you." The purpose the lion did now not must do, because the witch turned into that every night time. Even as the woman became asleep, Dorothy carried him food from the cupboard. After he had eaten, he might lie down on his mattress of straw, and Dorothy would lie beside him and positioned her head on his tender shaggy mane, even as they talked in their issues and attempted to plan some way to break out. But they could find no way to get out of the fortress, for it became constantly guarded by the yellow Winkies, who had been the slaves of the Wicked Witch and too scared of her not to do as she told them. The lady had to work tough all through the day, and frequently the witch threatened to conquer her with the equal old umbrella she always carried in her hand. But, in truth, she did not dare to strike Dorothy due to the mark upon her forehead. The child did now not know this, and became full of fear for herself and Toto. Once the witch struck Toto a blow together with her umbrella, and the courageous little dog flew at her and bit her leg in return. The witch did now not bleed where she became bitten, for she changed into so depraved that the blood in her had dried up many years earlier then. Dorothy's existence became very sad as she grew to take into account that it would be tougher than ever to get lower back to Kansas and Aunt Em once more. Sometimes she could cry bitterly for hours, with Toto sitting at her toes and looking into her face, whining dismally to expose how sorry he'd become for his little mistress. Toto did no longer simply care whether or not he was in Kansas or the land of Oz, so long as Dorothy became with him. But he knew the little girl turned into sad, and that made him unhappy too. Now the Wicked Witch had a brilliant longing to have the silver shoes which the lady always wore. Her bees and her crows and her wolves have been lying in hundreds and drying up, and she had used up all of the strength of the golden cap. But if she may want to handiest get preserve of the silver shoes, they would deliver her greater power than all the different things she had misplaced. She watched Dorothy carefully to see if she ever took off her footwear, thinking she may scouse borrow them. But the child changed into so proud of her pretty shoes that she in no way took them off except at night and while she took her bath. The witch was too much fearful of the dark to dare move in Dorothy's room at night to take the shoes, and her dread of water became more than her worry of the dark, so she in no way came near while Dorothy became bathing. Indeed, the old witch never touched water, nor even let water contact her in any manner. But the depraved creature was very cunning, and she eventually idea of a trick that might deliver her what she desired. She placed a bar of iron within the middle of the kitchen floor, and then, with the aid of her magic arts, made the iron invisible to the human eyes, so that after Dorothy walked across the ground, she stumbled over the bar, now not being able to see it, and fell at full length. She became no longer a lot hurt. However, in her fall, one of the silver shoes got her off, and earlier than she could attain it, the witch had snatched it away and placed it on her own thin foot. The depraved woman was substantially pleased with the achievement of her trick, for as long as she had one of the footwear, she owned half of the power of their allure, and Dorothy couldn't use it towards her, even had she recognised the way to do so. The little woman, seeing she had lost one in all her white shoes, grew irritated and stated to the witch, "Give me my shoe again." "I will not," retorted the witch, "for it is now my shoe and no longer yours." "You are a depraved creature," cried Dorothy. "You have no right to take my shoe from me." I shall hold it, just the equal, said the witch, giggling at her, and one day I shall get the other one from you too. This made Dorothy so very angry that she picked up the bucket of water that stood close to and dashed it over the witch, wetting her from head to foot. Instantly the wicked lady gave a noisy cry of fear. Wah! And then, as Dorothy checked out her, in surprise, the witch started out to cut back and fall away. See what you have got completed, she screamed. In a minute I shall melt away. I'm very sorry indeed, said Dorothy, who turned into honesty fearful to see the witch genuinely melting away like brown sugar before her very eyes. Didn't you know water will be the quit of me? Requested the witch in a wailing, despairing voice. Of direction no longer, spoke back Dorothy. How have to I? Well, in a few minutes I will be all melted and you may have the fort to yourself. I were wicked in my day, but I never idea a bit woman like you will ever be capable of melting me and stop my wicked deeds. Look out, here I cross. With these phrases, the witch fell down in a brown, melted, shapeless mass and commenced to spread over the easy forms of the kitchen floor. Seeing that she had sincerely melted away to not anything at all, Dorothy drew some of the bucket of water and threw it over the mess. She then swept all of it out the door, after choosing out the silver shoe, which changed into all that changed into left of the vintage girl. She cleaned and dried it with a cloth and put it on her foot again. Then, being remaining free to do as she chose, she ran out to the courtyard to inform the lion that the Wicked Witch of the West had come to and give up, and they were now not prisoners in a peculiar land.